The Beretta 92FS did not just appear in action movies, it defined an entire generation of cinematic firepower. If you love deep dive movie gun breakdowns, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next one. There is a reason this single handgun became the go-to sidearm for nearly every action hero in the 1980s and 1990s. From John McClane crawling through air ducts in Nakatomi Plaza to Martin Riggs taking down drug cartels, the Beretta 92FS was always there. It was on screen more than some actors. It became so linked to the action genre that seeing one in a movie instantly told audiences they were watching something serious. Today, we are breaking down exactly why the Beretta 92FS became the action movie pistol of the 80s and 90s, and how a single firearm shaped the look and feel of an entire era of cinema. To understand why Hollywood fell in love with the 92 platform, you have to go back to what filmmakers were looking for in a movie gun. Before the 1980s, revolvers ruled the screen. Think Dirty Harry and his famous .44 Magnum. But as the decade turned, audiences wanted something new. They wanted modern. They wanted tactical. The semi-automatic pistol was rising in real-world police departments and military units, and Hollywood wanted that same energy on screen. The Beretta 92 series gave them exactly what they needed. It had a sleek silhouette that looked incredible on camera. The open-top slide design was unlike anything else, making it instantly recognizable even in quick action shots. The inox version with its stainless steel finish practically glowed under studio lighting. Beyond looks, the 92 series was reliable. It could fire blanks without constant jamming, which was a major problem with other pistols during film production. The internal locking mechanism made it easy for armorers to convert for movie use. When the United States military adopted the Beretta 92F as the M9 service pistol in 1985, it gave the gun something no marketing campaign could buy. It gave the gun legitimacy. Filmmakers could now put the same pistol in an action hero's hand that real soldiers and law enforcement officers carried. That connection between on-screen fiction and real-world adoption made the Beretta 92 the obvious choice for any movie trying to look authentic. Now let us get into the films that made this gun legendary, starting with the one that put it on the map for most American audiences. Die Hard, released in 1988 and changed action movies forever. Bruce Willis played John McClane, a New York cop visiting his wife in Los Angeles when terrorists took over Nakatomi Plaza. McClane was not a superhero. He was just a regular guy with a badge and a Beretta. The 92F he carried throughout the film became as much a part of his character as his bare feet and white tank top. What made the gun work so well in Die Hard was how the filmmakers treated it. This was not an infinite ammo situation like in older action films. McClane had to count his rounds. He had to scavenge for more ammunition. The Beretta was shown as a tool of survival, not a magical weapon. There's a famous story from production about the hearing damage Bruce Willis experienced on set. During the scene where McClane fires his pistol under a table, Willis was firing blanks just inches from his own ears. The sound was so loud in that enclosed space that it caused permanent partial hearing loss in his left ear. This detail shows just how seriously the production took the realism of the gunplay. The film was a massive success, earning over $140 million worldwide. And something interesting happened in the firearms market right after. Beretta 92 sales exploded. Gun stores across America reported huge demand for the exact pistol John McClane used. People wanted to own a piece of the movie. The Die Hard effect on Beretta sales became a case study in how films could drive consumer behavior in the firearms industry. The previous year, in 1987, another film had already started the shift toward the Beretta as the modern cop gun. Lethal Weapon starred Mel Gibson as Martin Riggs, a suicidal detective with a death wish and incredibly fast reflexes. His Beretta 92F was constantly on screen, often drawn in that famous speed shooting stance that became Riggs' signature move. What Lethal Weapon did was change the visual language of movie cops. Before this film, detectives on screen usually carried snub-nose revolvers tucked in shoulder holsters. Riggs carried his Beretta like a tactical operator. He used a two-handed grip. He moved with the gun extended. The film showed audiences what modern police training actually looked like, and the Beretta was central to that image. There is an interesting piece of prop history connecting Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. According to production records, some of the same Beretta props were shared between both film franchises. This was common practice in Hollywood at the time, where armorers would maintain pools of modified weapons that could be rented out to different productions. The Beretta used by Martin Riggs in one sequel might have been the same physical prop used by John McClane in another. Lethal Weapon spawned 3 sequels over the next decade, and Riggs kept his Beretta through all of them. Each film reinforced the connection between this specific gun and the idea of the skilled modern cop. By the time Lethal Weapon 4 released in 1998, an entire generation of moviegoers had grown up associating the Beretta silhouette with professional law enforcement. If you are enjoying this breakdown, comment 92FS below. Pushes the video to more action movie fans. The success of Die Hard and Lethal Weapon opened the floodgates. Throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, the Beretta 92FS appeared in seemingly every action film coming out of Hollywood and Hong Kong alike. In 1987, RoboCop featured the pistol in the hands of both criminals and police officers in its dystopian Detroit setting. The contrast between the small Beretta and RoboCop's massive custom Auto 9 made both weapons more memorable. In 1989, John Woo's The Killer brought the Beretta to Hong Kong cinema. Chow Yun-fat played an assassin with a code of honor, and his Beretta was as elegant as his white suits. Woo's signature gun-fu style, with its slow-motion dual-wielding and unlimited ammunition, turned the 92F into something almost artistic. 3 years later in 1992, Woo topped himself with Hard Boiled. Chow Yun-fat returned as a cop this time, and the Beretta was again his primary weapon. The hospital shootout in that film remains one of the most influential action sequences ever filmed, and the Beretta is in frame for nearly all of it. Back in America, the 92FS kept appearing in major productions. Terminator 2 in 1991 featured the pistol in the hands of the T-1000 and various police officers. The Rock in 1996 showed both Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage using 92FS pistols modified with tactical lights. Face Off in 1997 had Nicolas Cage again with the Beretta, this time in John Woo's American debut. The Matrix in 1999 put dual Berettas in Keanu Reeves's hands for the famous rooftop scene where Neo first realizes he can dodge bullets. Steven Seagal alone used the 92FS in multiple films including Above the Law, Under Siege, and Under Siege 2. Jean-Claude Van Damme carried dual Berettas in Hard Target. Sylvester Stallone used one in Demolition Man. The list goes on and on. By the mid-1990s, the Beretta 92FS had become shorthand for professional firepower. If a character on screen carried one, audiences understood immediately that this person was serious, skilled, and likely the hero or at least a competent villain. The gun itself communicated information about the character before a single line of dialogue was spoken. The reason Hollywood felt so comfortable putting the Beretta in hero hands connected directly to its real-world adoption. In 1985, the United States military selected the Beretta 92F to replace the Colt M1911 that had served since 1911. The new designation was M9, and it would become the standard sidearm for all branches of the American military. This was not a small decision. The M1911 was legendary. It had served through both World Wars Korea and Vietnam. Replacing it required extensive testing, and the Beretta won because of its larger magazine capacity, lighter weight, and easier handling for troops with varying hand sizes. There were problems early on. Between 1987 and 1988, 14 slide failures were reported during testing and service. The slides cracked under pressure from certain types of ammunition. Beretta responded by redesigning the pistol with an enlarged hammer pin that would catch the slide if it ever failed, preventing it from flying backward into the shooter's face. This improved version became the 92FS, with the FS standing for the Italian words for slide and safety modifications. The military connection gave the Beretta credibility that few other pistols had. Over 30 countries adopted the 92 series for their military or police forces. France ordered 100,000 units for their gendarmerie. Italy, Turkey, Egypt, India, Malaysia, Pakistan, and many other nations equipped their forces with some variant of the Beretta 92. In the United States, major police departments, including the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, carried the 92FS. Border Patrol agents used the 96D variant in .40 caliber. State police departments in Connecticut and Maryland issued them as standard. When films showed cops and soldiers using Berettas, they were reflecting reality. The M9 served as the American military's sidearm until 2017, over 30 years of service. That is an entire generation of service members who trained with and carried the Beretta platform. Many of those veterans went on to work as technical advisors in Hollywood, ensuring the guns they knew from their military careers appeared accurately on screen. The Beretta 92FS still appears in films and television today, even though newer pistols have largely replaced it in military and police service. There are practical reasons for this continued presence. The inox stainless version looks perfect on camera. It catches light in ways that darker polymer pistols simply cannot match. The silhouette is instantly recognizable even in fast cuts and shaky cam footage. Modern audiences who grew up watching 80s and 90s action films have a nostalgic connection to the Beretta. Directors know that putting a 92FS in a character's hand immediately calls back to those classic films. It is a visual shorthand for a certain type of action movie. Films like Sicario and the Underworld franchise have featured the Beretta in recent years. Video games including Call of Duty and The Last of Us continue to include the 92 platform as a playable weapon, introducing it to younger audiences who may never have seen the original Die Hard. What makes the Beretta 92FS unusual in film history is how it became a character itself. Most movie props are interchangeable. One car can replace another. One building can stand in for a different one. But the Beretta 92FS developed a personality through its repeated appearances. It became associated with specific qualities: competence, professionalism, the hero who knows what they are doing. When John McClane's Beretta runs out of ammunition in Die Hard, audiences felt the danger because they had been trained to see that gun as his lifeline. When Martin Riggs draws his Beretta, the speed of the motion told audiences everything about his character before he pulled the trigger. The gun communicated. This is the kind of relationship between prop and narrative that rarely develops. A sword might do it in fantasy films. A specific car like the DeLorean or the Batmobile might do it, but for a simple handgun to carry this much meaning required thousands of hours of screen time across dozens of films. The Beretta 92FS is more than a pistol. It is the face of action cinema from an era that shaped everything that came after. Every tactical shooter game, every modern action film, every hero who racks a slide before entering a building owes something to the Beretta's dominance in the 1980s and 1990s. The gun defined what action looked like for an entire generation. For more iconic movie gun deep dives by Real Caliber, hit like and subscribe and tell us which weapon you want to see broken down next.